All right, take two.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly rundown where we talk movies, TV, music, and video games. Not necessarily in that order. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Thank you for joining us today on the Media Boat Podcast. Today is October the 21st, 2025. This is episode 509. And kind of a slower week this week, but we still have some stuff to talk about.
Oh, the news will be slow, and you'll
Yeah,
get to that shortly. But first, we got to
we
start
will.
with the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard. Start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is still the first track off of Taylor Swift's new record, The Fate of Ophelia.
Yeah.
But at number two is the actual best song on the album, Opalite by Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Coming in at three, Golden by Huntrix, the various artists. At four, Ordinary by Alex Warren. And round out your top five, Elizabeth Taylor
Yep.
by Taylor Swift. As for your albums chart, your Billboard 200, at number one is, of course, The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. Coming in at two is K-pop Demon Hunters, the soundtrack by various artists.
Mhm.
Coming in at three is The Problem himself, Morgan Wallen. Right behind him at four is the drama herself, Cardi B. And right at your top five is man's best friend herself, Sabrina Carpenter. SNL performer now, Sabrina
Yes.
Carpenter.
Yeah. Um, no change on the album list there. That is the same top five as last week. And minor changes in the Hot 100 as it's not just all Taylor this time. Some of the old favorites, question mark, came back to the top five.
Well, yes, after everyone was done listening to the album three times through for the week,
Yeah.
they went back to the well of their popular songs, some more popular than others.
Yes.
If you didn't like any of those albums, we have new releases,
Hmm.
including Returning to Myself by
Oh,
Brandy Carlisle. Yeah, that Brandy Carlisle.
yep.
Death and Love, Part 2 by Circa Waves. We also have The Boy Who Played the Harp by Dave. Now, I don't believe this
Dave.
is Little Dicky Dave, right?
I don't know.
It's just Dave.
Dave.
All right, Dave. You're going to be competing with It's Not That Deep by Demi Lovato.
Hmm.
We Were Just Here in all caps by Just Mustard.
Hmm.
West End Girl by Lily Allen.
Hmm.
Chaos with a C this time by Miguel. So I guess that's Seos.
Isn't chaos always spelled with a C? You just mean without an H.
Yes, but also without a K, like the Netflix show.
Oh, that's what you were thinking. Okay.
Yes, but we also have covers, collaborations, and collages by Serge Tankian.
Mhm.
And lastly, Love Chant by the Lemonheads. Delicious Lemonheads. Hope you get them in your bucket this Halloween.
Exactly. Right
The
where you want
candy,
them.
not the album.
I mean, maybe both. I don't know. There's some weird houses out there.
Are you one of those dropping CDs into people saying you should listen to this?
No, but I should. That's a really good idea. Although, do kids have CD players anymore? Probably not.
Okay, you're gonna drop a QR code into it for different songs into their bucket list,
And their
into their
parents will
buckets.
rightfully throw it away because you can't go on scanning like unknown QR
Yeah,
codes. It's dangerous.
you have just to say scan me for hot
Even,
beats.
especially if it says scan me.
Scan me for hot beats in your area.
Yeah, I definitely get on some lists if I started doing that.
All right. Speaking of someone's list, let's talk Britney Spears and Kevin
Yeah, that's
Federline.
a name that really takes you back, it doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Ugh.
So, you know how we had Britney Spears' memoir a couple years ago?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
read it. It's
well,
good.
yeah. Well, someone wants to respond to that with their own memoir. You'll never believe who.
Oh, I will.
Okay, so Britney Spears posted another salvo Thursday against her ex-husband, K-Fed, as we all called him back in the day,
Yeah, we did.
and his claims and purported concerns about her parenting and personal health, accusing him of, quote, literally attacking her in recent interviews. So, yes, this does come with K-Fed's memoir, You Thought You Knew, which publishes today as of this podcast. You
Mhm.
could read it or listen to it after you listen to us,
I guess.
if you want to, I guess. But his allegations have appeared in interviews and experts excerpts in recent days, which claim that Brittany here smoked cigarettes while pregnant, drank while breastfeeding, and engaged in strange behavior with their sons. Were young. Of course, those sons are now 19 and 20 years old, so they're more like adults now.
Yeah.
But, quote, as Britney Spears wrote in her post, to be loved unconditionally and with a naive heart like mine, always being threatened or made to believe I'm the bad one as they profit off my pain. Oh, dear Jesus, show me there is a God, and I can too be loved unconditionally and not have to be so perfect, 'cause it's really interesting. Close quote.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Brittany has been very upfront about how her relationship with her kids when they were younger. In her memoir, she goes into it. I don't think she had any ill will, but I think things were complicated at the time. I mean, she was unable to see them for the vast majority of those years. And so there was a lot of pent up stuff I'm sure she wanted to do with them and interact with them. Um, Whether or not the stuff that Kevin Federline is claiming is true or not is kind of, well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's human. He has the right to, tell his side of the story if he deems that. But at the same time, we don't know because we weren't a fly on the wall what was actually happening there. However, it does line up with a lot of the behavior that she was exhibiting at the time. So, there's probably truth to both. But again, has been very open and transparent about how she acted and had
Mhm.
pretty much legitimate explanations for all of it. So yeah, it's a little weird. It does feel a little bit like cashing in from K-Fed here, but hey, what's new? It's basically what he's been doing since the day that we all found out about him.
I mean, this is, it does feel like a response book to her memoir because why
Yeah.
else would Kevin
Why
Federline
else would he have something to
out
say?
a
Yeah.
book titled You Thought
Right.
You Knew? It feels like he's putting his version out there now, but also, do we need his version? It does feel like a cash grab for it because
Yeah.
Britney's memoir sold like hotcakes everywhere. Like you
Yeah.
said, you picked it up and you read it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a speed bump for Brittany and we'll move on pretty quickly from this. I don't think anybody is taking Kevin Federline's word for 100% truth.
Even if it is 100% true, we're also 20 years post this now,
It's been a while.
15 to 20 years. So some time has come to reflect on the issues that, yes, Brittany went through. She is a completely different person now and able, able to move forward
Yep.
in life and hopefully have a better relationship with her kids.
I mean, she clearly does now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that ultimately it's worked out for the best, I think, for her.
All right. Did you listen to anything?
Not really, no. Just making playlists really these days. Kind of looking back at the year instead of really having much else to look forward to, music wise.
Same, as we get into November, got to start
Hmm.
combing through what we listened to this
Yes,
past year to start forming lists.
it's almost
As
curation
those
time.
top
We gotta
five
get those top
coming
fives.
soon.
Yeah, get ready.
All right, let's then move on into video games, where we start with
Yeah.
new releases, starting with the game everyone was asking for, Fast and Furious Arcade Edition for
Yep.
the PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch. You know how we didn't get a Fast and Furious movie this year? Well, you get a video game compilation instead. We also have Once Upon a Katamari for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch.
Yeah, a new Katamari game. I don't know if this is the same one that came out on mobile, including Apple Arcade, if this is a port or if this is a different game. I'm not sure. But hey, new Katamari.
Must be a port, because otherwise it would have hyped the hell out of this game.
Yeah.
We also have Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit for everything. Wide release. You got it. You can play it.
It's 2025. Are we, does anybody know who Angry Video Game Nerd is anymore?
Does anyone still appreciate 8-bit pixelations?
I mean, both of those are valid questions.
Here. Also, valid question. Are you going to pick up Double Dragon Revive for everything? Wide release. You got it. You can play it.
I mean, cool. I'm glad they're bringing back Double Dragon again.
Yes, well, first you had the dragon, then you had the double dragon, then you got to bring
Yep.
it back for a
Double
double
dragon.
dragon revive. Because there's this thing as a triple dragon. That's a hydra at that point. We also have
Triple dragon.
Plants versus Zombies, replanted. This is a wide release everywhere. You got it. You can play it.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's also Persona 3 Reload for the Switch 2, Power Wash Simulator 2 for the
Hmm.
PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch 2, Tormented Souls 2 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X, Jurassic World Evolution 3 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Not to be outdone, Ninja Gaiden 4 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. We also have Vampire, Masquerade, dash, Bloodlines 2 for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. And lastly, Painkiller, the 2025 reboot for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X.
Yeah, just want to note that Ninja Gaiden 4 is also on Game Pass and launches day one with the Ultimate tier. Unless, of course, you're still boycotting Microsoft.
And why should we at this point? I mean, sorry, why did we stop at this point?
Yeah, that's a good question.
All right.
Anyway,
Anyways, let's get to the video game news where, oh, we got some numbers to talk.
yeah,
Because the first weekends of sales for Ghost of Yotei made it the biggest first party release for a PlayStation game in Europe since, never believe it, Spider-Man 2. The other Insomniac game.
mhm.
That's according to GSD European chart data, which found that Ghost of Yotei entered the chart at number 2 in terms of both sales units and revenue. But,
Quick note.
yep,
You wrong. We've done this before. Wrong developer. Sucker Punch makes the
Sucker
Ghost
Punch.
of games, not Insomniac. Okay, continue.
I think I did that back. I think I did that last time too.
We keep doing it.
Well, they're two studios with blue in their logo. What am I
Yeah, they're
supposed to
both
do?
owned by Sony. I get how you do it, but like still.
Yes. To set the record straight,
Yes.
Ghost of Yotei, the Sucker Punch game, entered the chart at number 2, both in terms of sales, units, and revenue. Only behind the loot box making machine, which is EA Sports FC 26.
Yes.
So, according to GSD's European chart, which counts both physical and digital sales of a game across 24 countries, but also includes the UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and Australia, Ghost of Yotei sales are roughly in line with those of its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima. GSD says Ghost of Yotei is Sony's best first party release since Spider Man 2, which, at the time, was the fastest selling PlayStation Studios game in history when it released in 2023, when it sold more than 2.5 million copies globally within its first 24 hours.
Yeah. Note that yes, we don't have US numbers yet, so that's why we're not talking about those yet. But I imagine that will show a similar trend. Sony still has the juice, I guess, as the kids say, when it comes to their first party releases. They still are in high demand and they still sell a lot in their first week. And this has not stopped. So while, there are people who are concerned about Sony's strategy, it just seems to be proven successful every single time they do it. It's just interesting to see that it still works.
Okay, I know where I got I mixed up because I was watching a video earlier today about Sly Cooper and why Sony abandoned Sly Cooper, and
Hmm.
they mentioned how Ghost of Tsushima, and Ghost of Yotai sold
Yes.
like crazy. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, they must be the same developer then. But nope, nope, I got
Yes.
that mixed up then.
No, no, no. I think that those are Sucker Punch games.
Those
That
are
is
Sucker
this,
Punch games.
that is the same developer. Because the
Okay.
trajectory is they did Sly Cooper for the PS2, then they
Hmm.
did the infamous games on
This,
PS3,
yep.
and then now the Ghost of
No,
series. So yeah.
yeah. So they wouldn't go backwards because there are also rumblings everywhere about another Infamous game, but with numbers
Yeah,
like this,
they don't
it's
really
hard
need
to go
to.
back.
Yeah. So yeah,
Especially when games take like 5 years to develop now,
right.
that, you know, make first PlayStation and to an extent Microsoft are making first party not longer making first party platformer
Yeah.
gamers outside of Astrobot, which was
Yep.
our game of the year
Yeah.
and
I
most
mean,
people's game
yeah,
of the year.
I think their strategy is interesting right now. I feel like they're a little lost with everything but the big AAA single player experience. They
Mhm.
still deliver on that count every single time, but they cannot for the life of them figure out any other kind of game. And yeah, no surprise to see it behind EA Football Club again, because even without the FIFA name, that thing is going to sell like crazy every single year.
Well, yeah, it's a loot box making machine. It just
Exactly.
keeps making EA, well, now no longer EA.
Well, still EA.
Well,
Just
yes, but now
different
they're owned by
corporate overlord.
the
Yeah,
Public Investment Fund.
exactly. We'll get to more crazy purchases later in the podcast.
Yes. Oh, well, we got two coming down the line here.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
easy.
but yeah, with all this doing gangbusters, do you plan on playing Ghost of Yotei?
I haven't really been playing my PlayStation 5 to be honest. Yeah, pretty much just been on the PC and the occasional dabble on the Switch too. That's just kind of how it's been. I mean, Yotei will eventually come out on PC. So maybe
Well,
then.
yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's get into then some thoughts. Have you been playing more Hades 2?
Yeah, I played a lot more Hades too. I ended up getting to the getting the potion to make the upper floors accessible for me, and so I've been doing that run a little bit. Yeah, those bosses feel harder already. I'm already experiencing what you told me. Or am I getting that reverse? You said you had a better time on the top?
I had a better time going up than I
Oh,
did going down.
I'm having a harder time so far getting used to it. So I ended up turning off God mode after I beat Chronos for the first time. I was like, all right, turn this back off, then try blank slate, regular difficulty going up top. And I think that's probably why I've been dying. But I have
Mhm.
gotten to the final like zone, so I'm doing okay. It's just that, yeah. Did I? Yeah, I beat. Did I lose to Prometheus? Yeah, I think I might have lost to Prometheus. I think that's where I ended up in
Okay, so you
my
have gone
most
past
successful run.
Prometheus then.
No, no.
All
So
right. So
yeah.
yeah, there is a place beyond Prometheus.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yep.
Okay. I'll get there. I'll
Uh,
get there. But yeah, yeah, Hades 2 remains good. Just kind of cranking away at it. Played a little bit more Borderlands 2. That game's taking forever. I mean, yes, am I doing it to myself partially because I am doing every side quest? Yes. But also, it just feels such like I I don't want to say it feels like a slog. It's not that bad, but it definitely feels like it is such a crawling pace. Like that game is just taking forever.
that's what we said about Borderlands 3 as well.
Yeah, and I feel like it is designed better than 3, but I do now understand why a lot of the reviewers on day one were talking about the game feeling a little old. I think that some of this design, like ethos behind the Borderlands series, it needs something major to really put excitement back in it because it definitely feels like a 360 game. Like still, and it's kind of worrying that they haven't figured out how to modernize that setup yet. And even the open world doesn't really modernize it to the point where I feel like I'm playing something super fresh and new. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna keep cranking away at it, but I just can't imagine I finish it before the end of the year. I can't imagine a world in which that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Hades 2.
Mhm.
I'm keeping God mode on because I'll try and get to the end here.
Okay,
But also I'm going through, I feel like I can get through Chronos regularly with any
that's
weapon
good.
now.
That's good.
It feels good. So I'm doing that right now, getting through everyone before going and
Cool.
defeating the top level, which I thought was going to be the reverse when I found out I could go to the top levels, that I'll just beat the top level
Right.
first, then come back down.
Yeah.
But I do keep like oscillating between what do I need in order to craft stuff. Is it on the upper
Yeah.
side or is it on the
Yeah.
lower side?
Because at that point of the game, that is basically the way through. Like you're just constantly trying to make new stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
And I
Cool.
know I need a lot of sands from Chronos to create stuff, so that's why I keep doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand your slog because I've been kind of feeling the same thing with Digimon Story Time Strangers,
Sure. Yeah.
where I'm meeting all these mega level Digimon, and a lot of my Digimon can evolve to mega level Digimon, but they can't because my player character is not at the right level yet.
Aha.
But the only way to increase my level is to do all the side missions and story content.
Of course.
But they only give me like two side contents per story chapter, and it's like, but I want to do more. They purposely try to keep you not overpowered
Right. Yeah. They're
as you go
trying to
through
make
it.
it so that you can't grind to impossible, like to impossible level.
Right.
Yeah.
As much as I'd love to. But yeah, I've got like at least a full roster and a half of just Mons at the ultimate level waiting to be Digivolve to Megas as soon as I can as soon as it'll allow me to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun either way. I like they're getting more into the timey-wimey time travel bits about it. So it's still fun. I'm still streaming that. And you can catch me at at twitch.tv/mediaboat.
Yeah. Try that one more time.
Yeah, you can find me,
Yes.
Mediaboat,
Uh-huh.
at twitch.tv/mediaboat.
Media boat. There we go. We got there.
Yep. All right. Well, if nothing else, let's move on then into television, where we start with the sports corner.
Do, 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 do.
All right, let's talk playoffs. Not those
Playoffs.
playoffs, not those playoffs. NASCAR playoffs, as we
Oh.
have one final playoff race in Martinsville, Virginia, before the finale in Phoenix next Sunday, the 2nd, which means next time we record next week, we will know who will be in the final four fighting to win in Phoenix. It'll be fun, it'll be fast, it'll be exciting. And if you're not into it, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's just for us.
Sometimes just for you.
Sometimes it's just big parties. Also, just for me. Um, the other side of the playoff bracket, the MLB playoffs. Well, the Mariners went out to a hot start to the leading the Blue Jays 2-0, and the
Yeah.
Dodgers went out to a hot start leading the Brewers 2-0. Well, the Dodgers ended up sweeping the Brewers 4-0,
Yeah.
and the Mariners ended up being let down in their fans by losing in a heartbreaking fashion 4-3 to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it was rough. Both were rough series in different ways. I was happy that the Mariners kept it at least competitive through the entire Jays series, bringing it to a game seven that we legitimately didn't know who was going to take. In fact, up until a certain point, it looked like the Mariners had it in the bag. And then,
They switched pitchers,
yes, and then the thing that happens in baseball all the
and they
time
didn't
happened.
walk the guy who hits home
Yeah.
runs to an open
And
base.
right. Turns out that the Jays ended up showing why they were there and ended up, unfortunately, keeping the Mariners from coming back at the end.
You mean they
Um,
showed why we're the number one seed
yeah, turns out.
in the AL?
I mean, I'm not super mad. Yes, I would have liked to see the Mariners, who have never even been to the World Series, in their first World Series. But it's also been a long time since the Jays have been there too. About how old we are. And so yeah, it's cool to see them back. And also, as teams go, if I wanted to pick a team that had a chance against the Dodgers, it would probably been the Blue Jays the whole time. So I'm glad that at least there's a chance that we have a team that could possibly beat the reigning champs.
Are you sure? Because Otani had a magical day
Oh my God, that game.
of
Whew.
10 strikeouts
Yes.
and 3 home runs.
I mean, it's interesting, especially for us as Angels fans, because the last time we heard this, he was in an Angels jersey. He had double-digit strikeouts and two homers in a game. And at the time, they were calling that the best game that anybody had played. But not only now, he's done that, plus a home run, plus in a playoff game. And so now it's just indisputable. Like, okay, well, this guy clearly is one of the best that's ever done it. There's no debate anymore. Like we're watching a superhuman play a sport at this point. It's just not
I
even
mean,
it.
at this point, all you conspiracy theorists out there are just waiting for cyborg implants to
Yeah,
like come to fruition, explaining everything that's going on with Otani.
yeah. So in that way, I'm not in the same similar way that I'm not upset about the Mariners. I'm not super upset that the Dodgers ended up making an embarrassment out of the Brewers in the end, because ultimately I think the Brewers are a great team, but Shohei Ohtani is just somebody who needs to be seen on the biggest stage possible in the sport, and I'm glad that they made it to the World Series. However, I am rooting for them to lose.
I mean, we were running against the blue team with the blue team.
Yeah, I mean blue versus blue, you kind of have to choose blue.
You're choosing Canada over the US here.
You know what? It seems like an apt time to do that.
You know who else sides with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yes, I know. A lot of people are bringing up the how the well this lines up to the Kendrick Drake feud.
Yep.
But let's be real though, a lot of people have pointed this out. I'm not the first one to say this. The city of Toronto does not support Drake. Drake supports the city of Toronto. It is not a two-way street. Let's make that clear. Anyway,
I mean, they supported him on the sidelines
yeah.
of NBA games when the Raptors won.
I mean, yeah, again, he supports Toronto. I never said that that wasn't true. Just the inverse cannot be true.
Right. And then the LA Clippers took Kawhi Leonard from Toronto Blue Jays or from the Toronto
Which
Raptors.
wouldn't that be crazy if somebody like what if you had intersport trades? Wouldn't that be crazy if a basketball team
Otani
was
would
like,
be everywhere.
yeah, a basketball team was like, you know what? We need this really tall guy who's on like the Cardinals. Come over here.
Hey, Joe Burrow was a legit basketball player before he decided to play football.
See, it happens. It happens all the time. Anyway. But yes, the World Series will begin on Friday.
Yes, the 24th, which means the Blue Jays can get a couple days rest before
Yes.
the World Series begins.
Yes, and it will In Los Angeles, the first two games. Is that correct? I think that that's what they said.
Yes,
So, yes, here first.
because it goes 2-3-2. And
It is.
because
Yeah.
the NL won the All-Star game, it's here.
Yeah. Okay.
See, All-Star games matter. Make them matter.
All-Star games sometimes matter.
Yep. Speaking of things that do matter,
Yes.
the AUSL now has competition.
Of a sort. It's literally a different sport, but sure.
I mean, yes, that's the Athletes United Softball League.
Yes.
We're going up against the Women's Professional Baseball League, the
Yes.
WPBL, as it announced its first four teams located in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, and New York City, in advance of its inaugural 2026 season.
Yes. So, not to be outdone by the AUSL, who I talked about in their inaugural season this past year, um, they were announced in August of this year. I missed this and I didn't see it until late September. But as soon as I noticed it, I kind of caught wind of what they were doing. It is, as the name implies, a baseball league, not a softball league intended for women. A lot of the people that are on these teams are people who have competed in kind of the fringes of professional leagues, including three women that have played for, get this, organizations within the banana ball world.
Ah,
Certain banana teams do sometimes tour with women, and some of these women will be playing in the newly formed women's professional baseball league. Note, we don't actually know who that is because the draft hasn't happened yet. The draft will happen next month in November. But in advance of that draft, we do have the first four teams. No names for these teams yet. All we know, they're doing the reverse of what the AUSL did. Instead of announcing teams first and then putting them in cities, they're announcing cities first and then putting names later on them, I guess. So we do know here in Los Angeles we will have a women's team to represent the area, as well as, like you said, San Francisco, Boston, and New York City. Not a whole lot of else is known. We don't know where they will be playing. I would imagine that since it's just baseball, I would imagine that this would be played at least, I presume, in professional baseball stadiums. I don't see why not. They could do the college campus option, but it depends on their rules. As we went into with some of the talk about Major League Baseball teams that were moving or needed stadiums. Reasons why sometimes you can't do that is because there are not certain regulations on those fields. For example, in order to be a professional baseball team field, you have to have a batter's eye. College parks don't have batter's eyes. So, depending on what the PBL brings over from the MLB rules, that might be an issue. So they have to be probably choosy about where they play. So we don't know whether they're going to be, for example, playing games at Dodger Stadium. Who knows? We don't know yet. So there's a lot still to be answered, including players. But yes, the draft will be happening soon. So hopefully we'll have an update.
and we'll have team names
Yeah,
shortly with
hopefully.
it.
I hope so.
It's
I'm
called them
looking forward.
LA baseball team.
Yeah, maybe right now they're just the cities. They don't have any sort of like even that kind of naming convention yet. So we'll see.
All right, we'll see. Moving on into other sports starting in October here. The season begins for the NBA tonight. As of this recording, the
Yep.
Rockets will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and who will raise their banner in their home stadium.
Yep.
And then the Currys over in the Warriors will take on the LeBreakers,
Well,
LeBronkers,
you tried.
the Lakers, the LeBrons, the
Yes, the
Lucas.
LeBrons.
Well, the Lucas team now.
I guess so.
No, no, it's still LeBron's team.
Still the Jameses is, right?
Yes, both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, that season will begin, like we said, right now.
Right now.
Over at hockey, we have two undefeated teams, the Colorado Avalanche and Las Vegas Golden Knights. currently 5-0 and a couple of ties. Well, not ties, overtime wins,
Mm-hmm.
but still technically 0 losses.
Wow, pretty good.
Keeping on that undefeated train, over in college football, the D League, you have number one, Ohio State. Number
The
two,
Ohio State.
Indiana. Number three, Texas A&M. Number seven, Georgia Tech. And number uh BYU has the remaining undefeated teams, all of them at 7-0.
There you go.
Uh, we know that will not stay the case for very long, especially as Indiana goes on to take UCLA this upcoming Friday.
Fair enough.
But over in professional football, that's the
Yes.
worst. You know what's better, worse than 7-0? 0-7. And that's
Yes,
the
it's much
Jets
worse.
still trying to find their first win.
Yee.
Still hanging on to their head coach. Still waiting to make that quarterback change official. But the best record in the NFL is at 6-1. And everyone say it with me. You know it. It's the Colts.
Yeah, wow. I'm
Yeah.
kind of shocked.
Who saw that coming?
I
With a new
certainly didn't.
quarterback coming in, with a new head coach, with a
You must
new
feel
outlook on
like
life.
an entire decade has been redeemed.
Kind of. Well, yes, but also Daniel Jones is the quarterback, and he came from the Giants, so it's like, ooh, maybe it is the
Conflicted,
Giants
yeah.
organization because Saquon left the Giants, and then they won the Super Bowl, and now Daniel Jones left the Giants, and now maybe the Colts will win the Super Bowl. Huh.
It doesn't
Huh.
matter where they used to be, it matters where they are right now. Just keep saying that to
Yes.
yourself.
Yes, but I also trying to like not get all hyped up and go get out an Indiana Jones uh shirt or jersey or anything like that
Although,
yet.
how funny would it be if you did do
But
that?
oh yes, it would be very funny. All right, but yeah, but that's it in sports.
Yes.
Now we get to move on to TV news.
Well, do we? Because we're kind of going to cover a sport in our TV news story. If you call NASCAR a sport, then so is Formula One, the other way to watch really fast cars race.
I
Well,
believe they call it Formula Un.
yeah, it depends on where you are. But yes, Apple and Formula One have announced a 5-year agreement under which all F1 races will be available exclusively on Apple TV Plus in the US. Although I have to train myself now to drop the plus because
Yes.
Apple apparently also is going to do that. Except here's the problem that I have with this is you can't the whole reason why it's called Apple TV Plus is because the Apple TV is the box that it runs on. So both of those things can't be Apple TVs. Anyways, but it will be coming to Apple TV. That will begin next year in 2026. It's another big move by Apple into sports, which also has streaming deals currently with Major League Baseball. I say currently because they won't next season, and Major League Soccer. The F1 agreement follows Apple's partnership with Formula One for the original film F1 the Movie, which starred Brad Pitt and raked in $629 million worldwide at the box office this year. The highest grossing sports movie of all time, Pitt's highest grossing feature to date, and your dad, whoever you are, his favorite movie. F1 the movie will debut on Apple TV on December 12th, 2025, by the way. Apple will pay an average of approximately $150 million annually to Formula One under that pact, valuing it at about $750 million over the term, a significant premium over the just $90 million per year currently paid by ESPN, their current partner. This is a good deal from Apple. I think this was smart. There is a cult like obsession that people tend to have with F1, a way that I rarely see with sports, where they care almost more about the interpersonal drama between racers and their teams than they do about actually how the races turn out. It's a fascinating sport. I mean, all you have to do is ask any F1 fan how about Drive to Survive, and they'll tell you way too much about it.
I mean, that's the fun part. Is that's what NASCAR is lacking is that
Mhm.
interpersonal drama amongst all these
Yeah.
teams, especially because like the drivers move around a lot. in NASCAR. Like you're driving for this team, then you're driving for that team. Oh, they made mid switches. Oh, there's different partnerships and sponsors here. Not in Formula One. You stick with it, and you got beef, not just with
Yeah.
interpersonal teams, but just like amongst themselves, amongst the crew chiefs.
Oh
It's
yeah.
fascinating.
It's they talk like another language. Like they're always talking about like, oh, Ferrari did this, as if Ferrari, you have to think beyond, oh, they make cars. No, they're a team. And
Yes.
you have to think that that actually means the leadership of the Ferrari team organization within F1. And I'm just like, you have to wrap your head around it in a different way. It's fascinating.
But
I
yeah,
don't know.
you get all that at Apple now, or Apple
I,
TV
I don't
coming
know.
next year.
Like, is this what gets me into F1? I don't know. I've always been kind of like maybe I should dip a toe in there, just try it out. But
I mean, you start
um,
with F1 the movie.
I'll pass on that one, I think, actually. Although I say that and I realize I'm going to have literally three different baseball organization, well, one softball organization to follow next year. So it might be a little busy of a 2026 for me sports wise, at least during the spring and summer.
Right. That's why I only follow NASCAR during the playoff season. And then
Yes,
in February, when it starts up again.
fair enough. So wait, so the entire season then?
No, I skip all the summer races
You
until we
skip
get
all
into
this.
playoffs.
I feel like that's the time where you should watch NASCAR races. Like summer, like just chilling with a
No,
beer.
because after like the first couple like races, the beginning of the year, you get to understand like, okay, I know how my favorite driver is going to be doing the rest of this year. I'll catch back up with you to see how close you get to the playoffs.
Fair enough. And see how many watermelons there are, right?
Yeah, it's always fun seeing watermelons being smashed.
Watermelons.
My favorite
Anyway.
driver, Cyndaquil.
Anyway, all right. That's it for our television news story. You have some thoughts. You watched a show
Yes.
that seems to keep coming up in conversations on the internet that I witnessed too. It's weirdly relevant, I guess. What's happening with this show?
Oh, you're talking the Nazi-inspired Peacemaker
Mm-hmm.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
recently watched Peacemaker, which filmed last year before all this happened this year. But like you said, somehow feels very relevant. As if, you could look into a crystal ball of what the election was last year and almost immediately predict the kind of project that would come out in 2025 from this
Apparently.
administration. As if there was like a playbook that you could just like read
Yeah.
online and figure it out.
Almost like that.
Almost like that. Not quite. That's why Peacemaker has to go to an alternate reality
Sure.
to
Mhm.
fulfill that destination. Not the current
Yes.
reality that the DCU is in, but an alternate reality. And that's more or less what this is, which is Peacemaker kind of grappling with the idea of is the grass greener on the other side? And one of the other characters are also grappling with the idea of is the grass greener on the other side? Especially as we get into this new world of James Gunn-led DC universe of is this grass going to be greener on the other side than what was the DCEU under Zack Snyder?
Yeah.
Um, and for the most part, what you liked about season one carries over into season two, just because James Gunn wrote and directed a lot of the episodes of season one and writes and
Right.
directs a lot of the episodes from season two. But as James Gunn has gone to say in interviews, while the Peacemaker show may not return for a third season, the Peacemaker character and the characters within the Peacemaker universe will indeed pop up here and there within the overbroading DC universe, which is
Mm.
what I liked because following the recent Superman movie, there was a handful of characters that you saw in there pop up in this film, which
Right.
helped to breathe in that interconnected universe that we liked from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you could see different characters come in and pop up around, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a different movie, even for just a quick cameo for a couple scenes that, like, oh, it helps build that interconnected continuity universe. And some of that pops up here in Peacemaker season two as well. It, I mean, it does tackle the heavy issues of today's political climate in a
Yeah.
very head-on, uh, not so subtle way as the Peacemaker franchise tends to do,
Yeah.
especially as considering last year you had uh John Cena's Peacemaker character, literally fight the embodiment of white nationalism, which was represented by his dad. And here you have him fighting Nazism in the US in an alternate dimension. Also with his dad and family in the alternate dimension as well.
Right, right.
So it's uh Peacemaker, as he said in Suicide Squad. Sorry, Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad?
The Suicide Squad is the second
The
one, I
was James
think.
Gunn one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will do whatever it takes to bring peace, even if he has to kill people to bring peace. And that kind of backwards logic intuition is here. It's funny, it's interesting, it's wacky, it's quirky. It's everything that you feel James Gunn's fingerprints everywhere in here. And that's what makes it kind of very fun to watch. And I'm glad I did. Won't appear on any of my list, but it's one of those things that's like, yeah, I had a fun time watching this.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, it seems like that it's good news that Gunn is able to pull off the trick that he has done with his movies on television as well. It's like really good because yeah, it does give promise to the future of the DC universe as it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Did you watch anything?
No, not really. Still finishing things. I'm so close to finishing The Bear, finally. We're just a handful of episodes away. We finished the wedding episode, so we've
Okay, the very,
crossed
very long
the
wedding
speed bump.
episode.
So we're over the speed bump. Now we just cruise to the end. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you
working
got
on
two
that.
more episodes left, I think, or
Yeah,
three.
two or three. Yeah.
All
All right.
right.
Well, with that, let's move on to cancellations and renewals.
What am I no longer watching?
You're no longer watching nothing because there's no cancellations this week, but we do have a couple of renewals. We have the McBee Dynasty: Real American Cowboys, which gets a third season on Bravo, and Splinter Cell Death Watch, the anime. I believe this is an anime.
Yeah, it's
Um,
animated.
Based on the Splinter Cell video game series, we'll get a second season on Netflix. Right. Now we'll go into some deaths. We have three deaths I add or two deaths. I added one because you didn't have it. First we have Ace Frehley, age 74, a Hall of Famed guitarist known as the guitarist from Kiss, but also songwriter, wrote songs such as Cold Gin and Rocket Ride. But yes, I believe this is the first of the core four Kiss members that has passed. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
There was an
So yeah.
article about a month ago talking about the health of one of the members of Kiss, and everyone thought it was Gene Simmons.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
In this case, yes, not Gene Simmons, but it is Ace
Well,
Frehley.
it still might be Gene Simmons with his health because Ace died by a falling accident.
Eh, So
Fell, couldn't recover properly, and ultimately passed.
yeah, it's rough. It's one of the reasons why they're not going to be performing as Kiss anymore is because that there's too many risks when you get up to this high of an age.
Well, there was a farewell tour that they just did,
Right. That's what I'm saying.
end of last
That's
year,
why.
December.
Yeah. So good timing, I guess, if you will. Although it's never good timing, of
Uh,
course, when somebody passes away. But you know what I mean.
yes,
Yeah. Anyway, R.I.P. But yes. Also this week, Tomonobu Itagaki, which, if you know that name, you've probably been reading video game magazines for 20 years, like I have. He died at age 58, was a video game developer, most famous for being the creative lead on the Dead or Alive series of fighting games, as well as, of course, its spinoff, Extreme Beach Volleyball. And also the man behind the Ninja Gaiden series. We just talked about Ninja Gaiden 4, but before 4, the reboot series from 2004 onto Ninja Gaiden 3 were all creatively led by Itagaki. So he kind of became a notorious, if you will, figure in the video game industry because he would always go on. He had a very peculiar, specific fashion sense. He would always walk up in like a big trench coat and leather and like sometimes be a little like strange towards journalists trying to do interviews. He definitely had a reputation, but was also known for making brutally hard video games. So he had an equal amount of respect as well. So yeah, sad to lose a video game legend this week. All right, that's it for deaths. That means we can move on to the movie section, and we always start the movie section with the weekend box office numbers. And your number one movie this week is Oh, What If Phones Were Scary Again? Yes, Black Phone 2 was your number one movie this week with $27 million dollars in its first weekend. Coming in at number two, still a disappointment. Tron Ares only with $11 million dollars this week. That's at 54. That will take a huge loss. Number three, Good Fortune debuted to $6.1 million dollars. Number four, One Battle After Another, still around. 6.1 also this week, moving it to $61 million dollars total domestic. And your other premieres, number five, Roofman with $3.7 million dollars. That's $15 million now. And After the Hunt, way down at number nine with only $1.5 million. 1.7 domestic currently. So I wasn't here last week. Who ended up winning that bet? Because I remember it had
We
something to do with Tron.
Oh, you ended up winning
Because
that
I picked the
bet.
under, didn't I?
Yes, because we put it at 35 and it debuted at
Yeah.
33.
And it did not even do close. Yeah. I remember reading, I was like, oh, shoot. So, yes, that means I take the lead again.
Yes, if we had kept it at 30, as we originally put it, then
Yeah.
I would have won. But because we put up the extra five, it's split at 33. So
Yeah.
you're currently up 12 to my 11.
Yeah. So, for now. But what will be this upcoming week in releases? We have two very different things. And this is going
Yes.
to be a risk because it could go either way. We have the Bruce Springsteen biopic Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere, starring the Bears' Jeremy Allen White, versus Chainsaw Man the movie Res Arc. So the question now is, do you take the safe bet, which is, of course, the Bruce Springsteen biopic? Everybody loves the boss. People are hot on Jeremy Allen White. In the past, these kinds of movies have done pretty well, including last year's movie with Timmy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. So, do you take that, the safe bet, or do you take the riskier bet, which is, well, surely everybody who saw the Demon Slayer movie will probably just be in as into Chainsaw Man, and we'll see that, and that will be your number one.
Well, see, when A Complete Unknown debuted, that was also in December on
Yeah,
Christmas,
that's
and
true.
it was a very heavy loaded Christmas, so it didn't do that well at the box office.
Yeah,
Here, Delivery from Nowhere, wide open. Nothing is competing against it, except maybe Black Phone 2. But even then, that's going to make 12, $15 million.
uh,
So does Springsteen make more than that? But then does the fan event Chainsaw Man come in, like you said, and just wreck everything and just be like, well, what is a movie box office anymore?
So here's the thing. I do not purport to be an anime expert. I am not someone who knows a lot about anime, nor how successful they are, nor how big the audiences are for relative anime. However, the vibe that I get is that there's more of a demand for Demon Slayer than there is for Chainsaw Man. That is
You're
my
not wrong.
understanding.
Yes.
So, thus, I do think I follow your logic here with Springsteen. I think I agree that that will be your number one.
Well, I'm going to antagonize you and pick Chainsaw Man.
All right, well, that makes it a simple bet. So there we go. Funny. You can't really do it with the other one. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
because that'd be Chainsaw.
Chainsaw Man is different. That's a different thing.
Yes,
Momo Man.
man. All right.
All right.
So
So we'll
anime,
see you
I
next week.
win. Biopic, you win.
Yeah, boss, I win. Anime, you win. All right.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about something that is very much not boss, which is the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery has officially said they are up for sale.
No, we talked about
Well,
this kind of
I know
rumor-ish
the
going on.
story addresses that,
All right.
but yes, we talked about the hints at this, which was the swirling reports of bidding interest by Paramount Global trying to take over Warner Brothers. But now Warner Brothers has made a statement themselves via their board of directors saying that they, quote, have initiated a review of strategic alternatives to maximize shareholder value, which is one of the most meaningless sentences I've ever read out loud. In a press release on Tuesday morning, the Warner Brothers Discovery Board of Directors said it has received, quote, unsolicited interest, end quote, from, quote, multiple parties, end quote. In recent weeks, WBD reportedly rejected Paramount Skydance's $20 per share offer as too low. Getting low to these guys. On Tuesday morning, the board of Warner Brothers Discovery turned down a mostly cash bid of nearly, well, this is just repeating what I just said, $24 million, $24 per share from Paramount.
No,
Warner
it's not
Brothers
repeating.
Discovery,
They upped the offer and they
oh,
still rejected
24.
it.
Okay, four. They just added $4 per share, and they still said no. Okay, got it. All
Yes.
right. So Warner Brothers says there is no deadline or definitive timetable set for completion of the strategic alternatives review process, other than the separation transaction that is already underway, the one that separates the company into two pieces, which the company has said it targeted to be complete in April of next year. So that is one of the questions here, is that it's unclear whether this is a bid for the entire enchilada or whether they just want one of the two halves. And because this is going to take a while, we might not know for a little bit longer. Um, yeah,
Right. And that's why they're going back and forth because while the initial offer was $20 per share, well, the stock market responded to that, and it currently sits at $20 per share. So Warner Brothers wants a premium on top of what the current stock price is, saying you're not going to buy us at face value. If you're going to buy us, you're going to pay the premium to buy us,
right.
which is usually a third to a quarter to a third plus what it currently is at. So you're looking at $30 per share, not the 24 per share. Um,
Yeah.
that being said, you are correct. Whether they make this deal before April 2026, because that's when they will officially be split into the two companies of the TV, basically the TV side and the movie production side.
Well, the
If someone
cable
wants,
side and the movie production side, yeah.
yes, if someone wants all of it, they're going to pay for all of it right now. But if they wait till after April 2026, then they can deal with each part individually.
Yeah.
So that's where they're going back and forth right now is, do you want the whole? Do you want the parts? What about this other interested player that wants to
Yeah.
come in? Whether it be Disney, Apple, we've floated Netflix, but that's also a not really in their mindset. But
No.
doing so would give them a physical base location to shoot stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about how this goes. Of course, first of all, I want to establish that pretty much no matter what happens, this is going to be bad because it does mean further consolidation. But two, depending on who ends up doing the purchasing, it could be a spectrum of bad to really, really bad. We've talked about the reasons why the Paramount version of this sale would be towards the really, really bad end of the spectrum due to changes that are happening currently at Paramount Skydance. Um, but there are other versions that I guess would be closer to the other end of that spectrum. I think Apple would take good care of them. It would be interesting to have Apple be in that movie business for real and also have hundreds of like 100 years plus of IP. It would be similar to what you said about Netflix, very new to them. Um, you could have a more traditional buyer come in, like your Sonys of the world. But it's really unknown what companies out there really want to spend this much money on something that is a big question mark. Um,
Yeah,
but again,
there's one company you're leaving out though that recently did a deal with Warner Brothers for one of its properties and films that they're going to release next year. Of course, we're talking about Catch-Up Entertainment.
yeah, yeah, they just have a spare like $60 billion that's running around, right?
How do you think they're going to get that money? With Coyote versus
Yeah.
Acme movie.
Yes, your first $60 billion making movie.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is bad no matter what. We don't need more consolidation. Fewer studios is bad. Period. So really, I don't know how this goes. And I have my worries that it's going to be
Either
the
way
worst
it
possible way.
goes, expect the WB water tower to be repainted.
That's so sad. What are they going to do with Yakko, Wacko, and Dot? They're in there still.
I don't know. Just they gotta evict them, I guess.
Do you retire if they end up being bought and then the name goes away? I'm not saying that it would because I think if you're an idiot if you buy Warner Brothers and don't keep the Warner Brothers name at least in some legacy way. Like those are literally the Warner Brothers and the sister dot. Like what do they do with them? They just retire them? Do they put them out to pasture?
I don't know. What's Disney doing with 20th Century Fox? Retiring it?
Well, they still have 20th Century Studios. It's still the
Yes.
20th century. The part that they like is in there. Anyway. But yeah, that's the story. We'll have more, of course, as this gets figured out.
Yep.
Updates to come.
Updates to come indeed.
In the meantime, though, you decided to watch something from last calendar year as a
I'll
little
be
bit of
real
catch up.
brief on this because it's currently available outside of Mubi.
Yes, you don't have to get a movie to watch this anymore.
No. Now available on Max, HBO
It's
Max.
HBO Max now, again.
Yep. Is The Substance, one of
Yes.
your favorite movies from last year, the body horror movie.
Yeah, favorite is maybe not the word I would use.
Okay, one
I
of your
saw it
favorite
and
body horror movies. That's why
I
it's got
saw
to
it
be specific in the lane.
I saw it. I respected it. I don't know if I enjoyed it. I think is where I ended up.
I think I liked the story it was telling until it
Okay.
got to the very, very end where it
Yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
doused everybody. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, you're just spending all that effects money right here now, aren't you?
Yep. Pretty much.
I don't know if that ending spoiled it for me or just like went way over the top just to be like, what you saw like prior to this, while we made our point, now we're going to make the fun point that we wanted to make here.
I mean, yeah, I do think there is a reading where it's just like, okay, well, they did, they mission accomplished. Now let's give the gross out people what they want. To a certain
Mhm.
extent, that is kind of how it reads. You could just say, like, well, they were probably just writing ideas and be like, what is the most crazy thing we could do with this premise? And they did every single bit of it.
Right. And no one said no or stopped
Right.
them. By
No
the
one
time they
said
got to
no.
the end, it was like to the edit point, they were like, well, I guess this is what we have. They all signed off on it. Let's put it
Yeah,
out there.
that's what we're gonna do.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it makes
It
sense. I
commits.
like it. Yeah. Do I like it
Exactly.
that much?
Exactly. That's where I landed on it. I'm glad that people who love that kind of horror film really found a lot to love in it. And I'm glad that, people in it got their flowers last year. Demi Moore's performance is absolutely worth it. Like I get it. However, yeah, I agree with you where it's just like as a movie going experience, it was not in my top 5 last year. It was not one of my favorite movies that I saw last year, and that's exactly why what you're describing right now.
Right, because it's no conclave.
It is definitely not Conclave. I'm
Yeah,
still
this is
waiting
one
for
of those where
this
it's hard to
year.
recommend to other people too. Where it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, it was good, but also you might not be for everyone. Your
I'm
mileage
still
will
waiting
definitely
for
vary for it.
this. Yeah, I'm still waiting for this year's version of the Mike texts me about a movie that he saw because it's the best thing he's seen all year. That still hasn't happened.
No, no, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm still
I know,
waiting.
time running out of time here.
It's
No, no, that only happened.
October.
What that only happened with Everything Everywhere All at Once. That I texted you
I
immediately
know.
about it.
Hey,
Although I
well
did
now
tell you,
you're
well, I did tell you about
two for
Conclave that you got to see
two.
Conclave. So
You're 2 for 2 for best pictures. Then you're killing it. Wait, Conclave. Wait, did Conclave win or not? I forget.
no, it didn't.
No, it didn't. That's right.
Sean Baker won everything
That's
with
right.
Honora,
Honora won. That's right. Never mind.
and everyone's gonna forget about it.
Oh, I definitely have not forgotten Honora. That movie has really stuck with me. Similarly, in the way that the substance has stuck with me. Um, However, yes, I like Conclave better than both of those movies. But we
Yes.
don't need to relitigate the Oscars again.
No, we
Anyways,
do not. And we don't need to continue this podcast anymore.
no, we don't because
This
we've reached the
episode.
end. Yeah, you you do that a lot. where you accidentally say things that sound like we're not doing the podcast ever again. It was very funny. It'd be really funny if we stopped like right before the 10th anniversary show. We were just like, sorry, pull the rug away from everybody. You don't get the 10th anniversary.
You don't get the end of the year special. We'll leave you hanging.
No, sorry. That's it. Anyway, that's it for the movies section. And yes, that's it for this episode of the Media Boat Podcast. We will be back next week for another episode, Big 510. Look forward to Big 510 next week. In the meantime, you can find us on the internet all sorts of ways. If you want to watch the video version of this podcast, that is on YouTube.
Not just me.
Now I'm doing it too. If you want to watch the video versions of these podcasts, you can go to YouTube, search Media Boat Podcast, find our page, like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications when new videos go live. You can also listen to us in podcast services of your choice by searching Media Boat Podcast there. You can also find us on the internet. MediaBoatPodcast.com is our website. You can also find us on social media platforms like Blue Sky, where we're MediaBoatPodcast.bsky.social. And you can find us by emailing us questions, comments, feedback about the show at MediaBoatPodcast@gmail.com. All right. With that, we'll be back next week, and we will see you for even more.
We'll have more news, more thoughts, how the World Series is doing, and more of us
Yeah, an
because
update.
it's the best time of the year. All sports are
It's
happening.
true. It's true.
All
Too many
right, bye.
sports. Okay, bye.